Hello friends, welcome once again. In the personal interview, the interviewing officer follows the sequence of the interview, and I'll show the sequence and then we will discuss a specific part of the interview process. The sequence is, before he calls the candidate, he goes through the PIQ form, and you understand it is equivalent to your resume. So he goes through that. Thereafter, he calls the candidate inside the interview room, and then to make the interview comfortable for the candidate, there is something called rapport building questions, the details of which were already given in the interview series of the videos. And thereafter, he asks you something called CIQs, which is Comprehensive Information Questionnaire. And there are number of questionnaires, CIQs, which are as under. Your life is split into various parts, that is CIQ on education, CIQ on early home background, CIQ on spare time, hobbies and interests, CIQ for working professionals, CIQ on current affairs, geopolitics, defense related knowledge, international organization, national issues, social issues, and all those stuff. And then CIQ on self evaluation. Now, self-evaluation is equivalent to the self-description in the psychological test. The candidate is same. In one case, you're writing. In the other case, you're expressing yourself. So that is that. So CIQ. After CIQ, at serial number 5 comes the probing question. So whatever responses you give, you are probed on that, and thereafter sealing off, and finally closing of the interview. So this is the sequence in which the entire interview process is conducted. Now in this specific video, we will be covering the probing question. What are these probing questions? Because you understand what are the CIQ questions because it's already there. You can actually prepare it also. But the probing questions on the CIQ, you cannot prepare because you don't know what will be asked. And there is a purpose behind asking these probing questions. We'll see that. So the most, maybe you can say not prepared part of it is the probing question, because you don't know what will be asked, and that becomes a tricky portion of it. So let's see what is probing question, that is serial number 5. So for the purpose of definition, probing questions are follow-up questions an interviewing officer asks to dig deeper into something you just said. So whatever response you gave to the question, in case if he finds some more clarification is required, or in case if he feels that he needs to understand and get better grip of your statement or the claims, or he needs some kind of a confirmation, the probing questions are asked on whatever you have said previously. So he makes record of that, whatever he has to query you, and then he will ask. So that are the probing questions. So probing questions, these are used when your first response or the answer is either too brief, not very clear, unclear hai, or when the interviewing officer wants to understand your reasoning, your feeling, or the thought process behind your decision, or more experience in a better and clear manner in order to confirm his query or doubt that he wished to clear. So either your responses on the probing question will confirm your claims or not confirm your claim. In the case of not confirm, that means आपने कुछ ऐसी चीजें बोल दिया है जिसको आप सपोर्ट नहीं कर पा रहे हो, राइट? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जैसे कि आपने इंटरव्यू के किसी हिस्से में बोल दिया, आई लेड ए टीम प्रोजेक्ट. Now that's fine. I led a team project. Now on this, he can, for example, ask you, what exactly did you do in that leading that project? What was the nature of project? What were the major challenges that you faced? The technical challenges and man management challenges. So now what is he doing? To whatever you have said, I led a team project, he is asking you to go deeper into it and explain how did you do that, what challenges did you face. In order to understand that, there is a video in the AFOSOP channel which talks about breadth and depth of your knowledge. So breadth is the top portion, I led a team. The depth is the response what you give to what he has now probed. How exactly did you lead them and the challenges and all those stuff. So watch that video. For example, if you say communication is one of my core strengths. Now, if you're making a statement like this, that means there would be incidents in your life maybe in your college, school, society, friends, or wherever, where this quality of yours would have demonstrated, based on which you have made a claim that your communication skill is one of the core strengths. Now, communication is not simply speaking good English or Hindi. It also means the clarity of your communication, the content of your communication, the depth in your communication. So, a counter probing question could be something like this. For example, give three examples from your life, various domains of life, wherein the quality of your communication skill, or the depth in communication skill, or the clarity in communication skill, or ability to initiate a difficult conversation, this quality of yours was demonstrated. Now you have to go deep with example. So there is a method to prepare, and in the AFOSOP training, the method that we use is lifeline analysis and a concept called Zohari window under the head assisted introspection. So when you come for the training, we'll see what it means and how to do these things, right? Let's take another one. Somebody says, joining the Indian Army is my childhood dream. So that means you're making a claim that armed forces has been a passion for you since childhood, and this means that your awareness or your interest in the armed forces, its history, its operations, its weapon system, its leadership, all those things would be part of your interest because you're passionate about it. So a probing question on that could be, okay, fine, which are the major post-independent wars or maybe operations that India had fought, and explain, say, for example, in this case, 1971 war. That is Pakistan wala. Sorry, Bangladesh creation wala, 1971 war. Now you'll have to go deeper into what you've just claimed by saying that joining the armed forces is a childhood dream. Understood? So let's take another one. So for example, if you say, in the last three SSB attempts, my English communication skills and current affairs was very weak. That means you're making an admission that having reflected on the past three SSB attempts, you could not make it through the stage one or through the conference because you feel that your language skills were weak and your content was weak. That means in the last three attempts, a similar pattern of weakness you have claimed. That means between the first and the second and third, you have not improved. That's why for three attempts, you have the same weakness. Now the question is, have you improved it this time, or have you just come with the same weakness back to the SSB and expecting the result will change without changing the input? So if you don't change the input, how will the output change? So the counter probing question could be, okay, how did you improve upon these weaknesses? That is, how did you this time work on your English communication skill? What activities did you do? And in order to develop your current affairs, geopolitics, defense knowledge, what activities have you undertaken so that the results of the last three attempts does not repeat this time also, and you are able to achieve your aim by overcoming this weakness? So what did you do to improve upon these weaknesses? What specific actions did you take to improve your English communication skill? Which newspaper do you read? Who is the editor of that newspaper? Since when are you reading this newspaper? Which all social media platforms are you referring to upgrade your current affairs, geopolitics, and whatever? And why have you chosen those sites or the social media platforms to do that? Now this means now you have to explain in depth the actions that you've taken to improve yourself. Similarly, if you claim that these are your strengths or these are your weakness, again it can be probed. Give me three incidents from life which establish that these strengths were demonstrated based on which you have made a claim, or weakness similarly. So it is important to understand yourself and your life better before you go for the service selection board interview, right? So these are probing questions on what you have already spoken. So probing questions are the interview's way of peeling back the layers so that he can understand you, how you think, how you act, and also he can get confirmation to whatever queries that you have in his mind in terms of the qualities that he's looking for. So it's like, peeling through various layers of the onion and going down and deep into you to understand at the root fundamental level what are your values, what are your belief system, what are your emotion, what are your thinking pattern, how do you take decisions, how do you reconcile with your mistakes, how do you correct them, and your value system, conflicts, inner conflicts, strengths, weakness, personality, dimensions of personality, all those stuff, right? So it is like going down into the layers of your personality, right? So what we will do is, acha, by the way, these probing questions are not meant to trap you. So there is no point of getting panicked कि यार ये क्या पूछ रहे हैं करके, because the aim is not to trap you but to understand you by taking you deeper into your own life and your events in life. So don't think it is as a trap. It is actually a tool to understand you better. So before they understand you better, you understand yourself better. So please reflect upon your own life and the journey and understand yourself before they understand you, right? Now what I'll do in this video is, as I showed you a couple of probing questions here, based on your CIQ responses, I'll create about 70-80 probing questions that can come based on what you say as part of your probing question, sorry, as part of your CIQ response, or maybe in the rapport building. And each of these questions, probing question, I'll display it for 15 seconds. You can pause it, reflect if this question was asked to you, how will you respond? Or in fact, I'll suggest keep a separate mobile phone with camera, and to each of these probing questions, pause the video, record it, and you can send it to me so that you exactly know where all you are able to respond properly and where all you are getting stuck. And also you can make notes of these questions so that you can subsequently practice. And in case if you don't have the CIQ form, you can WhatsApp me on 9090099035 and I'll share you the PIQ form so that you have both the PIQ form and the common probing question that you can expect. There will be more based on your individual characteristic and the response, but these are some of the generic questions that you can expect. So you can WhatsApp me on this and I'll get back to you with the probing question. Now those who have not already shared the AFOSOP YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to it, do post your comment, share with the friends, and press the bell icon so that you get the instant notification whenever a new video is uploaded. Now before I go further, AFOSOP के 4 weeks, 8 weeks and 12 weeks के online composite batch is available. Fresh batch starts every Monday, जिसमें कि SML and SSB दोनों को कवर किया जाएगा. 500% clarity is assured. To register for the same, you have to contact me at 9090099035. Kindly share with the friends. 500% clarity assured, जैसे इस वीडियो में आपको मिलने वाला है. इसके अलावा एफओसीपी का फुल ऑनलाइन साइकोलॉजिकल टेस्ट 1-on-1, जहाँ पे आपके 12 के 12 टीएडी पिक्चर्स, 60 WAT, 60 SRT एंड द SD विल बी checked for consistency, जो कि इस वीडियो का थीम है. So you're most welcome to do that. In case you want, you can also get the video recording of the same. These will be live interaction. And इसके अलावा आपको online personal interview with me is also available, where your entire PIQ, CIQ, everything will be gone through, and we will see how are you performing, how much is the gap, and is there consistency in what you're communicating. So for all these, you can contact me on this number 9090099035. इसके अलावा every Saturday we have a free demo class. उसके लिए all of you most welcome, especially those people who are preparing by the self. आपको इससे काफ़ी clarity मिलेगा. Again, contacting the same number for details, right? Every Saturday. And in case you're not already subscribed to the AFOSOP YouTube channel, request do that. Press the bell icon so that you get instant notification on the new videos, and do share with your friends so that they also benefit. Okay, so come back to the video probing questions based on the CIQ. Now, wherever you have problem, you can again WhatsApp me on this number and I'll get back to you. And so let's go through the probing question series. Try and respond to them. ഇത് देखिए तो तैयार हो गया है